It's a new day. You forget about the past. You move forward to what is in front of you. And what is in front of you is game 2 of this 3-game series. Ranger Suarez making his return. He's going up against Brady Singer in game 2 of this 3-game weekend series in Kansas City. Tyler Mroz, Heat Ratio Sports, Phillies pregame show. Not a good night last night for the Phillies, at least defensively. Taijuan Walker giving up 6 runs in just 3 innings. Offense, not that bad. They had 11 hits. They had 4 runs. So pretty overall, a decent night from the offense. Not great from the pitching, but like I mentioned in the beginning, move on from the past. You look forward to tonight. Ranger Suarez back for the Phillies. It's his first start since July 22nd against the Minnesota Twins. Only pitched in 1 game after the All-Star break, went on the 15-day IL. Missed over a month, but he is now back. Tyler Gilbert was optioned to AAA last night after the loss. And for the Royals, they have no Paul DeYoung, no MJ Melendez, and they made a little bit of a move in the lineup. Miguel Garcia is now batting leadoff for them. Michael Massey, who was leadoff yesterday, is batting 6th. So let's get straight to the keys to the game. Ranger Suarez, it is all up to him because you don't know which Ranger you're going to get. His last couple starts for the Phillies, this was his averages. 7.4 hits, 4.4 runs, and 4.2 strikeouts. Did not look like the Ranger Suarez of the first half that the Phillies were used to seeing. A below 2 ERA guy, someone that could go 7 innings, but was not great in his last few starts. Minnesota 3 runs, Oakland 4 runs, Atlanta 5 runs, Miami 6 runs, Detroit only 2 earned runs, but 4 runs. So we'll see if Ranger Suarez can get back on track. And another reason why I say this is a huge game for Ranger Suarez, you have to avoid a bullpen game because tomorrow Colby Allard is going to be starting for the Phillies. It's going to be a bullpen game, most likely. Colby Allard usually goes 4 innings, went 5 in his last start against the Diamondbacks. So still, that is 4 to 5 innings of a bullpen game. And that's if Colby Allard makes it there, because you see Taijuan Walker last night only going 3 innings. So the bullpen went not 7, that would be 10. They went 6 innings last night. So you really want to avoid that because you have an upcoming series with the Houston Astros, and then you have another 4-game series with the Atlanta Braves. What's going on, Adam? Brutal loss last night. So what do you think about tonight? Do you think the Phillies are going to be back? Do you think they are going to win tonight? A win, what some people might consider, is with Colby Allard coming up. Does that mean Taijuan Walker is gone? Rob Thompson, they asked him if he would be making another start. He declined the comment. He said they're working through a couple of different things and that they'll see, and declined to comment any further. Taijuan Walker may not be on this roster after tonight by tomorrow's game, which is at 2:10. So we shall see. But the bullpen, they have to be ready just because Colby Allard back in the minors, been there for about a week and a half at this point. So avoid a bullpen game at all costs. That's why it's huge for Ranger Suarez to pitch 6 innings. I don't anticipate him going any more than 6 innings. I wouldn't even be surprised if he went 5 tonight, just because it's his first game in over a month. You don't want to aggravate him or push him further than he needs to be, and then worst case scenario, he gets hurt again. You don't want to do that. I'm sure his pitch count will be around 80 to 85 pitchers. Yeah, he better not step on the mound again. Talking about Taijuan Walker. Taijuan Walker has been abysmal for the Phillies this year. I just saw a post today, it's from yesterday, about how Jordan Montgomery got moved to the Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen and how horrendous he's been. They're like, dang, even Taijuan Walker's having a better year than him. You could argue after last night that Jordan Montgomery is now having a better year than Taijuan Walker. So, Taijuan Walker in the second year of his 4-year, $72 million deal with the Phillies. So we'll see how that goes. Just got home from the Eagles game. Kenny Pickett is terrible. I didn't get to watch the game. I know, shout out to my dad. He was at that game. I didn't get to see that game, but I did hear that Kenny Pickett was not that good. 26-3. That's a brutal loss. Pickett, 6 of 9, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Tanner McKee was 13 of 21. I think Kenny Pickett is one of those guys. He's an eye. You have to actually watch the game to see that he's not the best quarterback. I'd prefer to have Tanner McKee. I've said this before on this, but I prefer to have Tanner McKee over Kenny Pickett at this point. If a team will give you a 4th or 5th round pick for Pickett, Howie Roseman should do that immediately. But getting back to the Phillies, top 2 guys, Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner, they could make or break this offense. You see last night, 11 runs, 4 hits. That's still not enough. Big reasons to why Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner were both over 10 last night. They left 7 on base, and they struck out 6 times. 3 each. It's not like, Schwarber struck out 4 or 5 times and Trey 1. They both struck out 3 times. They left 7 guys on base, and they lost by 3. If 4 of those were runs, the Phillies may have won last night's game. But, I mean, you have 2 top of the lineup guys. You need to not be going both 0 for 5. You get 5 at-bats. You can't get on base once. That you should not be the top of the lineup if that's the case. But I'm a Kyle Schwarber defender, leadoff spot. But they just need to provide better. They need to be what we're used to seeing them be. Kyle Schwarber is one of the best leadoff hitters in not just the National League, but in the entire league. He ranks 1st and 2nd in a lot of categories: home runs, hits, definitely not average walks. So Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, they need to get on it. Why are they doing a bullpen game this time of the year? I think they just want to give the starters more rest. Zach Wheeler would likely have been the starter tomorrow, but late in the season, you don't want to overthrow them. You kind of see how they've been struggling since the All-Star break. Rob Thompson may have overthrown them in the first half. So going to a 6-man rotation in this time of the year, I'm a pretty big fan of. I do think you need to win games, so I am a fan of throwing in the pitchers as much as you can, but at the same time, you have to think long-term. This team is making the playoffs. Obviously, whether or not that's the 1st seed, 2nd seed, you don't know. But priority number 1 is the playoffs. You need to be ready for those because that's ultimately what matters. No matter what you do in the regular season, that does not matter if you do nothing in the playoffs. You see the Seattle Mariners, they won 109 games, and they did not win a single series in the postseason that year. So it's all for nothing. So you want to have your guys ready to go. You don't want to overthrow them because with batters and pitchers, it's different because pitchers with their arms throwing a lot. You go 6-7 innings. Too often, and you see a lot of these pitchers nowadays are getting Tommy John surgery. So I'm all for bullpen, not necessarily bullpen games, but if you have Colby Allard or Tyler Phillips as your final starter, they go 4 or 5 innings and then bring in the bullpen for the rest of the game because you have Jose Ruiz who can go 2 or 3. He can go 2 innings. Rob Thompson usually only throws him for 1. Tanner Banks can throw for 2 innings. Even Orion Kerkering, he's a 1-inning guy, but he could go 2 if you really needed him to. That's why having bullpen depth is so crucial. That's why I'm also been impressed with Max Lazar. He's been really good. I hope when Colby Allard gets called up tomorrow, I really hope it's not Max Lazar. Lazar, 4 2/3 of an inning so far, 0 earned runs. I've been a fan of him. I know could be that teams are still getting used to facing him and they could figure him out. Same thing that happened with Tyler Phillips. But Max Lazar is a reliever, completely different. He was tearing it up in AAA. So I just hope it's not him tomorrow. But yeah, that's why bullpen. Toronto's pitcher almost tossed a no-hitter. I think he was going at 110 plus going into the 9th. Now you see who I kind of want to see who was starting for the Blue Jays, and I'm gonna make a good point out of this. 3-1 against the Angels. Bowden Francis. Did it say how many pitches he had? He had 117 pitches in 8 innings. Okay, this is my point here. The Toronto Blue Jays are 62 and 68. They are last place in the American League East. They can afford this. This could be, I'm not sure who Bowden Francis is off the top of my head. He could be a young guy, he could be an old guy. I'm sure he's not that old if he's throwing 117 pitches in 8 innings. But the Blue Jays can afford this. They are not going to make the playoffs this year. They don't really have that much of a chance. You can afford to throw your guys for that much. I mean, Aaron Nola did it recently, but at the same time, Aaron Nola had a day or two off at that point because you switch to this six-man rotation. You have these bullpen games. The Blue Jays, they really have nothing to lose from that. So that's my point with that. They have a team like that has nothing to lose with throwing their guys a lot of innings. A question I keep seeing is, why is Johan Rojas not playing? I'm not surprised by this at all. Some people are. I was having a chat with someone in Instagram comments earlier today, but I think Johan Rojas, I don't know if he should be playing. I think he should be getting more involved, but I know Tony's mentioned this before. You need a guy that is coming off the bench to be your defensive replacement / pinch runner for Kyle Schwarber, for Brandon Marsh, for even Austin Hayes. They're not the fastest guys on the bases. So you need that kind of guy late in the game. Rojas has been showing a lot of power lately, though. But at this point, Austin Hayes is the full-time starting left fielder now that he's back. And then Brandon Marsh and Johan Rojas are the platoon guys in center field. That's why Johan Rojas isn't playing. He'll primarily get starts against left-handers, I'm sure. I looked up his stats. He's actually getting – he has a better average than Brandon Marsh does against righties. So I think that's Rob Thompson's whole spiel. He likes the lefty-righty matchup. But Johan Rojas has statistically a better batting average than Brandon Marsh against righties. So let me know. Do you think that it should be Austin Hayes and Brandon Marsh, Johan Rojas, Brandon Marsh? Let me know what combination of outfielders you want to see. Any bets tonight? Oh, I'm so glad you say it. I'm so glad you said that, Adam, because let's get to tonight's HRS Triple play of the day. Let's see what we got cooking tonight. So last night, we went 2 for 3. We got the Bryce Harper over 1.5 HRR. We got Taijuan Walker under 15.5 outs recorded. Here's what we got tonight. Some good ones. I'm a fan of these. Austin Hayes over 1.5 HRR. That is at minus 105. He's one of 3 guys in the Phillies lineup to have faced Brady Singer, who's on the mound for the Royals tonight. 1 for 3, an RBI, and a strikeout. Hayes had a hit last night. I think he'll have a 2-hit performance. I think he'll definitely get that 1.5 HRR at minus 105 on DraftKings. Ranger Suarez to get 4+ strikeouts at plus 115. He's usually a guy that can get you 5 or 6. He got 4 in his last one, 6, 7, 0, 4, 4. So like 4 has been the number for mid-June on for not Taijuan Walker, for Ranger Suarez, but I think he'll come out in a big way tonight. I think he'll be showing signs of the old Ranger Suarez. I think he's going to go about 6 innings. He's going to strike out 5. Because with these strikeout bets, we usually are either 1 short or we hit 1 over. So I think he'll get 5. The over-under for his was 3.5 strikeouts, and that was at plus 110. But you look at him to get 4+ total strikeouts, it's plus 115. So why not? Better odds. It's the exact same bet, just slightly better odds. So Ranger Suarez to get 4+ Ks at plus 115. And then Bryce Harper to get 2+ total bases at plus 105. He had a great night last night. I know, obviously, he didn't have an awesome night, but he showed signs of the old Bryce Harper. He went 2 for 4 last night. He had 3 total bases. So I think he'll get another 2 tonight, maybe a home run. But that's the bonus bet. Who is it to get a home run tonight? I think it's going to be Brandon Marsh at plus 900. Those are really good odds. He almost hit one out last night. Would have been a home run in 24, 26 other ballparks. Kauffman Stadium is one of the lowest hitting home run parks in the entire league. So I think he'll get 1 tonight. He swung the bat really, really well last night. So I do believe Brandon Marsh is going to strike 1 tonight, get back on track. If you like these bets, we've been hitting on them past couple of nights. Not just the past couple of nights, past couple of weeks. We've been hitting at least 1. I know during these pregame shows, I think I've hit one almost every one we've done. So You like what you see here. Use your promo code HEAT. You get 50% off at Win Daily. All the best analysts and all of the best bets. So use your code HEAT. Get 50% off. Tony mentioned the tweet last night. If you had bet on the HRS Triple play last night, you would have been able to pay off your first 6 months. So you go 2 for 3 again tonight, and you hit the ones from last night, you could pay off a full year. So that's why. Austin Hayes, over 1.5 HRR. Ranger Suarez, 4+ strikeouts. Bryce Harper, 2+ total bases. I have a good feeling that maybe all of these are going to hit. I definitely think there's a good chance of that. I think this might be my favorite one. Plus 900. Those are insane odds. So maybe we can one-up Vegas tonight. Maybe Brendan Marsh can win us some money. We always talk about other stuff. So quick rundown of other things. This is a Phillies pregame show, but it's here at HRS Sports. We are not just Philly. This may be the Phillies pregame show, but the Phillies aren't all we talk about. Braves and the Nationals. They are playing at 7:20. Braves won off of a walk-off in the 10th inning. CJ Abrams, bad throw. First baseman couldn't pick it in time. Braves won in extras. Mets, Padres at 8:40. Padres crushed them 7-0 last night. So the Braves are only 5.5 games. It might even be 5 now because Phillies lost. So even more of a must-win tonight. For the Phillies, Shohei Ohtani becomes the 6th 40-40 club member. 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. He joins some greats. Ronald Acuna did it last year, finished with, 70 RBIs and 41 home runs? 73 steals, not RBIs. I made that mistake the other day with Ellie De La Cruz. I said RBIs instead of stolen bases. I was rewatching it, and I caught myself. So stolen bases, this is 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. Shohei Ohtani has it. Ronald Acuna did it in 2023. Alfonso Soriano did it with the Nationals. Alex Rodriguez with the Mariners, Barry Bonds with the Giants, and then a guy who's been in the news recently hosting his home run derby, Jose Canseco. He did it with the Oakland A's. Fernando Tatis Jr., former MVP candidate, former All-Star. He's eyeing a September return for the Padres. They have been really, really hot lately, and they've been doing it without their best player. Their 2 best players from last year, they don't have Juan Soto anymore. They traded him to the Yankees this offseason, and they haven't had Tatis since June, I believe. Let me see. June 21st. So he's placed retroactive to June 22nd. There's not really a specific timeline as to when he's going to be back, but him and the manager, Mike Schultz, said that it's going to hopefully be sometime in September. They're only 4.5 games out of first place in the American League West. They are the 2nd wild card, right behind the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then something that's pretty cool. Danny Jansen versus Danny Jansen. So Danny Jansen was a catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. They played in a game earlier this year against the Boston Red Sox. That game was postponed. So Danny Jansen was catching. I believe Reese McGuire was at bat when the game got delayed. Fast forward to now, Danny Jansen was traded to the Red Sox, and Reese McGuire no longer is on the Red Sox active roster. He was their catcher. So now Danny Jansen is the catcher for the Boston Red Sox. So Danny Jansen's going to become the first player in MLB history to play against himself, and not just the same game, but the same at-bat. So because that at-bat, it's weird how it works because the at-bat wasn't finished. So Danny Jansen's going to be batting in the same at-bat at which he was catching for 2 different teams. So really cool stuff there. I don't know if that will ever happen again. So could be once in a blue moon things, but first time it's ever happened. So really cool. Then some Eagles news. Shady LaShawn McCoy, one of my all-time favorite Eagles. He's getting inducted to the Eagles Hall of Fame. Their game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe that's one of the games they're wearing their Kelly Greens too. What I would have done to have seen Shady in those Kelly Greens. One of not just the best running backs in Eagles history. I think he was the NFL's the all 2010s team. I believe he was the starting running back, or he was one of the running backs. You could argue it was him or Adrian Peterson or Le'Veon Bell. That was the best running back in the 2010s. So let me know who. I mean, do you think Shady is deserving of this? I think not even a question. There's argument for 25 to be retired. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's like cream of the crop. And while Shady is up there, I don't think he's that high. But do you think LaShawn McCoy deserves it? Was he the best running back of the 2010s? I think he's a top 3 one. Could be a top 2 off the top of my head, just him and Adrian Peterson. So, yeah, that's going to do it. Post-game live, 5 to 10 minutes after the final out. As always, it's going to depend on whether it's a closer game, whether it's a blowout, and whether you're not, you pretty much know if the game's over in the 9th inning. Went live a little bit earlier last night just because had everything ready to go. So live here, 5 to 10 minutes after the final out. Ranger Suarez making his first start, Mr. Ranger. And then Brady Singer, 9-8, a 3.18 ERA. Has only faced 3 guys in the Phillies lineup, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner. They're both 0-for against him. Schwarber, 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts. Trey, 0-for-3 with a strikeout. And then Austin Hayes, who is part of the HRS Triple play. He's 1-for-3. So Austin Hayes, over 1.5 HRR. Ranger Suarez, 4+ Ks. Bryce Harper, 2+ total bases. And then the bonus bet, Brandon Marsh to get a home run. It's Kauffman Stadium, not a great home run stadium, but Brandon Marsh almost hit one out. I think he's going to do it tonight. Appreciate you as always, Adam. Appreciate everyone watching. Be live here. Don't forget, 5 to 10 minutes. Like, comment, subscribe, press that notification bell. You'll get notified when we go live, whether that's me, whether that's Tony. You will get notified 30 minutes before. You'll get notified right as we're going live. So make sure you are doing that. Appreciate everyone, as always, joining, watching, commenting, like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully, I'll see you in the post-game show. Hopefully, we can talk about a Phillies win. So I've been Tyler Mroz. Appreciate everyone. Have a good one. Stay fresh, my friends. Go Phillies.